All right, I'm going to start up a new segment that I'm going to be doing weekly. It's going to be called News Weekly, pretty much. So I'm going to do every week. I'm going to add on to like actual, not only do like the usual flip throughs or product reviews. I'm also going to get into news as well, like upcoming things that are going to also coming out and everything. So for like the I'm going to, like I said, continue to do the flip throughs and like the product reviews, so that way people have like ideas of oh hey, in case I want to buy something and everything, because nowadays with especially with the online purchase and being as big as they are, by doing flip throughs and product reviews, people actually can come online and get an idea of what the products are actually like before they actually buy them. Because slowly but steadily, the days of going to the local gaming store and being able to pick off like one of the books off the shelf and flip through them are slowly and steadily dying now. And of course, you can still nowadays do that as well, because I do have a gaming store that I go to and everything. So now if you're someone who's maybe in the big city or like in a very remote area where you may not either not necessarily have like a gaming store near that's feasible to get to, or like if you're in a big city and it's a lot easier just to go online doing the flip throughs and the product reviews, you can sit there and get your phone or something and be able to go online and go through one of these flip throughs and be able to get the idea, like, okay, so this is what's in this book. So I'm thinking about buying it. So here's some information on whether to sway you to get it or not, and whether you need it or not. So this new news segment is going to be me talking about things that are going to be upcoming. So to kind of like start off with this inaugural Newsweek segment, I'm going to talk about the two things that have popped up that are going to be very popular in my opinion. The first one is the Eve of Ruin. Now, the Eve of Ruin is the new adventure that comes out of this recording. It should be out in about a month or so, because I'm doing this early April, and Eve of Ruin is supposed to launch in early May. So Eve of Ruin is a new adventure book that stars Vecna, the Lich, and of course he's a long time stand-in villain in the whole D&D campaign set, and now of course he's primarily part of the Greyhawk campaign setting, and of course with the Eve of Ruin, this is going to take you across multiple realms, multiple campaign settings. So you got some of the famous arch wizards or arch mages if I'm not mistaken, Illustrial and Tasha, and are two of the big ones that come to mind right off the top of my head. So they got what they're doing is they're coming together across in the sense of the multiverse, gathering together a group of heroes to stop Vecna, whose goal is to pretty much recreate the multiverse in his image and everything. So these good aligned archmages or archwizards, however you want to call them, are gathering together to stop Vecna. So they gathered together a group of people, a group of adventurers, to gather together the rod of seven parts to be able to put it together and stop Vecna. Now, this is like a campaign adventure that's going to be set, like I said, across the multiverse in Greyhawk, Forgotten Realms, Dragonlance are the three big ones that I've heard are you going to be able to go to. Now, the levels are from levels 10. You start off at level 10 and go to 20. So now you have several options you can do. You can either start your party off at level 10 and say have them all create characters that have a decent backstories to, and they've all leveled up to level 10, and then start right off with this adventure. The second one you can do is quite possibly, that what comes to mind is for me is you maybe get a bunch of people that you want to bring together. You have them run a maybe separate campaign singly. With being in the multiverse, you could have someone from Kryn and Dragonlance, and someone in Greyhawk, and then a third person or whatever in Forgotten Realms, and you run separate adventures for them, level them up to level 10, and then get right into this or whatever. Third option is that if you reference my Curse of Strahd video that I did, you can do that adventure book, which is you in a sense get the group already together and everything. And that will take you already to level 10. So it could be a good idea, going from one undead fighting a vampire with Strahd to fighting another undead with Vecna and everything. So you could kind of in a sense tie those two together. So what I'll do is I'll link a couple links where I pulled some information for this and the next topic I'm going to be talking about, so that way people can actually go into those links and check them out, and so so they can kind of go look at where I'm getting some of my sources and everything. Now, of course, a video like this can't be all inclusive and all encompassing and talking about everything. So I'm just kind of doing this to kind of bring light to the news and kind of upcoming stuff that's going to be kind of exciting and noteworthy of oh, hey, this is on the horizon, maybe I should check it out, or maybe get into something before I get into that and everything. So with talking about the Eve of Ruin, with starring Vecna as the main villain, I'm now going to get into another the other big topic that I'm going to start with this first one is called Daggerheart. Now, most people are familiar with Critical Role. If you're not, Critical Role is Matt Mercer, pretty much the famous DM of the Critical Role, and his group that have been adventuring for done a ton of adventures over the course of many years. And of course they have their Wildemount campaign set, and that's another video I've gone over and everything. So so they are probably one of, if not the most popular group out there with Critical Role. So they have recently come out with their own game called Daggerheart. So it's a different kind of system than a D&D, because with that system, what it uses is not only dice, but it also uses cards as well. So it has a whole subclass and domain type of concept where in a sense your customization with the tidbits I've come across for it so far is pretty much limitless. So with the customization stuff that comes to mind is something think of the old school Final Fantasy Tactics games, or some of the or even Final Fantasy 14, where you can take a character and customize them any way you want and everything. So with mentioning Final Fantasy 14, I've been playing that for several years now, and so you can take your one character and basically level up in all the different types of classes there are. So you can that are that have come from previous iterations. For instance, you can become a gunbreaker from Final Fantasy VIII, or you can be a samurai, or you can be your typical a healer type of deal. So with one character, you can level up all your different classes and everything, so you can get your whole customization that way and everything. So that's the idea of the whole domain subclass plus the dice and cards system that they're going to be using. So now this could be in direct direct opposition to D&D, or it could be just one of the many new ones that come out where people they play D&D and they play Daggerheart, or people who have maybe even following a Critical Role for a while. Oh, hey, look, I played Wildemount before, so now I want to play the Daggerheart, because I love their show. I love that campaign sentence. So let me try something new and everything. So, and of course, on the other side, it could get into the whole new types of people getting into the role playing games. So either way, I think this is the Daggerheart is exciting because it gives you another area to kind of expand your gaming into and everything. So if you're someone like me who's been playing D&D for decades, and I started out good 30 years ago with second edition, and I've played third edition, and I've played fifth edition as well. So I've also branched out and played other games as well. So I've played Trinity. I've done a video on that as well. It's a White Wolf game, and that's kind of a D10 type of system and everything. So there are other types of gaming systems out there. So this is could be just yet another one of the many ones that are out there that could get lost in the fray because there's so many out there, but it could also become one of the top ones out there, like that could kind of in a sense rival not only like D&D but Pathfinder as well, because those tend to be the big two right now with the RPGs and everything. So like the Daggerheart would definitely be something worth checking out. So like I'll, like I said, I'll link the stuff that like I to these two that I like quickly like I looked up and everything, so people can kind of get an idea of where to look and everything. So like that way you can check into it even more. So that when this stuff does come out, like it gives you have like kind of a heads up on like, oh hey, these are two big things that like are coming out and everything. So now I might end up doing this, like I might flip flop like this on Saturdays and then do my usual flip throughs on Wednesdays, depending on what people like and everything. Because I know Saturdays I usually have a lot more time to be able to vote the stuff and everything. So now I could do either or and everything. So it depends on what people like. So this is the like I said, the first of like the new the RPG news week that I'll be doing every single week.